Hello and welcome to the Belfry, the show where I check out your decks for a change. I have my baddie decks, but this is the Belfry. Well, we're back in the Belfry again, and this time I also didn't give you a specific topic to make decks around, so let's see what people came up with. First up we have Skills Witch with Beast Pile. This is a pile of beasts. We're going to be adapting a Master Duel list to TCG for this, but it should be fine because I don't see any cards in here that would be a problem. No Earth Insect around here. Let's see what we can do with this. Alright, well here's our Beast Pile. We have, of course, one of each Tri-Brigade, which are, good for beasts. 3 of Calantosa, which is like the most important part of Melfi, even though it's not a Melfi card. We have Melfi Fenny, 2 Melfi Caddy, 3 Melfi Puppy. This is the good one, but not the really good one. The really good one is a little bit later. We have Melfi Pony. Melfi Pony's pretty alright too. 3 Melfi Wally. This is the really good one. Melfi Penny, which is the tuner. That's how we're going to make our Synchro monsters. Well, not all of them, but some of them. Melfi Caddy and Melfi Puppy are very important for the actual plays of Melfi, so we're going to have to use those for sure. Scareclaw Astra is an interesting card, as well as Scareclaw Acro. Scareclaw Baloney is just kind of here. He's fun. Scareclaw Reichhardt is, of course, the Vsauce of the Scareclaws. Now what should I say about the Scareclaws? Well, not much to say about the main deck Scareclaws. The main deck Scareclaws are mostly just here to support the extra deck Scareclaws, which are actually good. Rescue Ferret is actually interesting here. You can shuffle this card you control in the deck and special summon monsters from your deck whose total levels equal 6. In a deck with mostly level 2 beast monsters, we can summon quite a few beasts. They do have their effects negated and they get destroyed during the end phase. They have to be summoned to a zone a link monster points to, but Scareclaw Tryhard points to 3 monster zones, allowing us to get 3 beasts out. So it's an interesting little tech here. We have Majesty Maiden, the True Draco Caster. This is a way to add Metaltron, who is like a boss monster here. Metaltron is not a particularly good monster. It's basically bad Masterpiece, but it does float into some good monsters, which is an interesting strategy, especially in a deck that gains so much advantage as this one. Like, this deck is crazy on card advantage, specifically on field. So there's plenty of monsters to tribute for Metaltron, and we do have some continuous spells to also tribute in order to give it immunity from spell effects. We have Danger Bigfoot here. Danger Bigfoot is a level 8 monster that can summon itself. He's also a beast, so he gets the boost from beast cards. But most importantly, he is a level 8 monster that can summon himself, and then we can go into Baronne de Fleur with a Penny. We have Perform Hell Gum Gum Mouton, and we have Perform Hell Odd Eyes Unicorn. Now you may be wondering, what are these doing in here? Well, they're both beasts, and they're both pendulum cards, and one is a 1 scale and one is an 8 scale. They're completely searchable by Melfi Caddy, so we can add these to our hand and then start pendulum summoning out a whole bunch of beast monsters. This deck is beast spam. I mean, technically spam is already beast spam, but let's not get into the fine art of meat vending. We have free Pot of Avarice because we're doing monster spam, so we're going to have a lot of monsters in grave in order to put them back and then draw 2 cards. It worked for Edison, so why not here? Obedient School. This card is a really good card, actually, for Beast specifically. Let's special summon 3 level 2 or lower Beast effect monsters with different names, but their effects are negated and they're destroyed during the end phase. So it does the same thing that our Rescue Ferret is going to be doing, assuming we have Scareclaw Tryhard in field, which is not actually all that hard to make, especially if you use Obedient School to make it. This is actually pretty dang good for the deck. Scareclaw Arrival. This is just a way to get Scareclaws on field, which, that helps. If we get a single Scareclaw on field, we can make Scareclaw Lightheart, and that starts some combos. Primitive Planet Wreckphobia also does the same thing. It's some Scareclaws in the hand. Melfi Hide and Seek is a continuous spell that we can tribute with Metaltron, and also it is pretty good just as a general card. Melfi Staring Contest, again, a continuous spell that can be tributed by Metaltron, and is just a generally good card to have. Tri-Brigade Airborne Assault. I had actually never read this card before in my entire life. This is one of the unplayable Tri-Brigade cards, but we're playing it here. It does allow us to just special summon a Beast Warrior, a Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast Monster with a different type from another we have on field. So basically, if we have a beast on field, we can get one of the Tri-Brigade cards, which can start some combos. But then we can't set such summon from the extra deck except for Link monsters, but that doesn't really matter if we're going into Scareclaw Tryhard, exactly. And they were playing this. This card is called Spiritual Forest. Each turn, the first Beast Warrior or plant monster you control that would be destroyed in battle is not destroyed. I spent a long time trying to figure out what the hell this card was, because I've never seen this card before in my entire life, but it is a continuous spell that protects our monsters and also lets us make Metaltron. So I guess we're playing it. In the extra we have Tri-Brigade Shureg, probably the best payoff for the like Tri-Brigade strategy and Tri-types in general. Scareclaw Tryhard, which is also pretty good. It just requires 3 effect monsters. It doesn't really matter what type they are, but it is part of the Tri-type, the whole Scareclaw archetype is. It must be Link Summon. All face-up monsters on the field are changed to defense position, so it is a bit of a Baguska, and it is unaffected by the activated effects of defense position monsters, so it protects itself. It's not quite as good as Baguska, because Baguska does a full-on negate, but it is a little bit of a Baguska. But also, if this card is in the extra monster zone, you could target one level 3 Scareclaw monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, add a Scareclaw monster from your deck to your hand. And since most of the Scareclaw monsters can special summon themselves, this allows you to get 2 Scareclaws on field. Pretty good, actually. Scareclaw Lightheart just requires a Scareclaw monster or Vsauce Starfrost to be made, and then when this card is Link summoned, you can add Primitive Planet Rackphobia, which then adds a Scareclaw. So this is a good way to get our combos started. Naturia Exterio is an exceedingly powerful fusion monster that is exceedingly hard to summon. It requires fusing together Naturia Beast and Naturia Barkion, which are both synchro monsters. However, Metaltron's effect allows us to float into this card. And then this card can negate a spell and trap card at quick effect speed by banishing 1 card from the graveyard and sending the top card from the deck to the grave. That is not a once per turn. Infinite spell trap negates, as long as you have exactly 1 card in the graveyard. Merry Melfies is our Melfi Synchro monster. If this card is special summon, you can target a monster on the field and return it to the hand. Then, if your opponent normal or special summons a monster, or if an opponent's monster targets this card for an attack, you can return this card to the extra deck. Then you can special summon 1 Melfi Ixies monster from your extra deck. 2 of those as well, Joyous Melfies and Melfi of the Forest. We're not playing Melfi Mami for some reason, but these ones are pretty good. Joyous Melfies allows us to detach and attack directly, and then it can also special summon 2 beast monsters from the graveyard, recycling cards. And Melfi of the Forest can, when a Melfi monster returns to hand, target a face-up monster your opponent controls, negate its attacks and effects while it's face-up on the field. It also can just add a Melfi card, which is pretty good. Drone de Fleur! We can make this off of Bigfoot and Melfi Penny, but we could also make this off of Metaltron's float effect. It's a wind monster. Go figure. Borreload Savage Dragon. We have a lot of powerful Link monsters, so why not go with the powerful Link monster support? Ronin Raccoon Sandayu, one of those funny OTK cards. This is a rank 2 monster that was commonly used in silly OTKs. When it's back for this one, it allows you to detach a material, special summon a Kagemusha Raccoon token, and then when that's summoned, its attack becomes equal to the current attack of the monster on the field that has the highest attack. If you control another beast-type monster, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and what do you know? The token is a beast-type card. This allows us to get big damage on the field while also keeping a monster that protects itself. It's alright. It's pretty alright. Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos is the ultimate cope card, but it is pretty good when it goes off. It just takes a lot to get it there. It does require 3 different monsters with 3 different names every single time. You cannot link up into this card, but when you do so, it does have some pretty powerful effects. And if we use a level 7 or higher monster, which we do have quite a few of, it can't be targeted and it can't be destroyed. That's like alright, right? Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops. It's a Link 3 monster that can be made with 3 Ixies monsters. You can make it and it can't be destroyed by battle and unaffected. Honkshoe. Appaloosa, Bow of the Goddess. You make it and it has negates. Honkshoe. Unchained Abomination. This guy's pretty cool. If this card is destroyed by card effect, except by Unchained Abomination, you can target a card on the field and destroy it. When another monster is destroyed by battle, you can target a card on the field, destroy it. During the end phase, you can target 1 card on the field, destroy it. You will be destroying. While it may look like a beast, it ain't one, but it can be made with our beasts, so that's good enough for us. So that's what the deck looks like, and let's see how it plays. Let's check out the duel. So here's the duel. We've got a decent hand. Melfi Wally's in hand, so can't complain about that. Not happy to see Pot of Avarice so soon, and Metaltron and Bigfoot are going to be a bit of a pain, and I don't even know what Spiritual Forest can do for us. Our opponent is playing some sort of Chaos Space thing, probably some sort of Dragon Link, you would think, until you see Lumina, Twilight Sworn Shaman. Huh? Let's see what they're up to. We're starting, though, so let's play the game. We're going to start with Spiritual Forest to really confuse them. I'm going to go ahead and normal summon the Wally. You can just summon it in the end phase. I decide not to. Whatever, who cares? They're going to draw Minerva. They're going to Chaos Space Minerva away to get Black Dragon Collapse Servant. And what do you know? They have a Light Engrave now. That's going to activate the Effecto, and they're gonna mill Reinforcement of the Army, the baseball version. They're gonna banish away Minerva to summon Collapse Serpent. We're going to chain Wally to that summon, and then we're going to get Puppy and Penny. You know, probably not the best use, because Penny does have a quick synchro effect, but it doesn't work like this. I'm not super familiar with the Melfies, if I'm being perfectly honest. This was a bit of a mistake on my part. But that's why Wally is so good, is because it can summon 2 from deck. They're going to then activate Sakitama. They're going to summon Sakitama. They're going to activate Lubellion to grab Magnamut. They're going to make Minerva, activate Minerva, mill a couple of cards. Magnamut target. Oh no, Magnamut target is the worst phrase in the history of the world. Magnamut target Jackalope, though, but luckily not Foxytune. We summon the Magnamut, we use Lubellion effect to tribute the Magnamut to get Lubellion in. They're going to get over our Penny. They tried to get over Penny once, and then Spiritual Forest actually did its job and protected us. And then they got over it again with Minerva. Then in the end phase, they get Chaos Dragon Legionnaire. We're going to draw another Metaltron. Great. We activate Danger Bigfoot and hit the Melfi Wally. Just the worst possible target it could have been. But we do get to summon Bigfoot. He's big. We're actually going to tribute those 2 and Spiritual Forest to make Metaltron even bigger. It's actually the same size. But we're going to get over Minerva. They're going to activate the effect of Minerva. They mill a yugioh. They mill Performage Trick Clown. Performance Trick Clown effect, a yugioh effect. We're gonna mill. They're seeing our crazy ass deck. They mill Wolf. They're gonna summon the Wolf. They're gonna summon another Wolf that they milled. We're looking a little crazy here, but we do have, because of the mills, 5 monsters in grave. Let's Pot of Avarice and draw 2 cards. Why don't we? Put some of those beasts back. We draw a Pendulum Scale, and not just a Pendulum Scale that can protect us. So we're going to scale that up. We're going to activate Melfi Wally in end step, summoning it, and change over turn. They're going to draw the best card in all of Lightsworn, Charge of the Light Brigade. Let's see what they send. Oh, would you look at that? That's the Kelbeck. They're going to activate the Kelbeck. Mill a bunch more. Mill a bunch of our stuff. They're going to activate Lila. They're going to then IP Masquerena. They're going to activate Performage Trick Clown. We're going to Wally here. We're going to Caddy and Puppy. Here comes the Trick Clown. We're going to activate Caddy on Trick Clown. We're going to search the other Pendulum Scale. Maybe we'll get a Pendulum Summon going. They're going to activate Lina. They're going to summon Lumina. We're going to activate Puppy on that. We're going to get Calamtosa. We're going to get rid of Masquerena before bad things come. I'm afraid of Access Code Talker, so let's go ahead and get rid of Masquerena. They're going to go Nightmare Cerberus, targeting Calamtosa. That's fine. Calamtosa is basically used up here. They're going to Chaos Space for Judgment Dragon. They'll summon the Judgment Dragon. They don't use Judgment Dragon effect. They go straight into Zombie Vampire. Pretty good rank 8, actually. They're going to mill a bunch more. And then they make Chaos Valkyria, and then they make Chaos Angel. And I'm thinking, oh no, they found a way to get over. And even worse, they try to use the pop, but they can't. They cannot use the pop because we are protected from effects. We are going to use the Gum Gum Mouton effect. but we are still going to lose our guy. We're going to summon Barone. I want to summon Exterio, but I know it's just going to die. So I use one that is going to make them, run into it. Unfortunately, Zombie Vampire is still going to be alive. And then they're going to make a Zeus with that. But we have a stacked hand. We're going to scale up, and then we're going to Pendulum Summon 3. We're going to summon the Baloney, the Wally, the Caddy. This basically is a must Zeus. So we're baiting out the Zeus. They're going to Zeus, get rid of their entire board, but also get rid of our entire board. And then we can play the game. We still have the puppy. Let's summon the puppy. Let's go Caddy. And then we'll let our opponent have our turn. They're going to, they draw Raiden. They draw Raiden. We're going to Caddy and puppy. Get Calamtosa. Just go ahead and get rid of the big guy. We're just going to hope they don't mill anything. We're going to grab Rescue Ferret, because Rescue Ferret is a pretty good combo piece. We're going to get rid of that Zeus. They're going to mill Destrudo. Awful. Just awful. They're going to summon the Destrudo. Luckily, they're both tuners, so they can't really do anything about it. They're going to get over Calamtosa. They're going to mill a couple more in the end phase. Those would be pretty good if they were going, but we're going to summon the Rescue Ferret. We're going to activate Scareclaw Arrival. We're going to get Reichardt, which has been milled. We're activate Reichardt to get Scareclaw Arrival again. We're going to link off into Lightheart, activate Lightheart to grab Planet Reichphobia. We can then activate Planet Reichphobia to grab another Scareclaw Astra. Since we have Lightheart, we can special summon Astra, and then we can link off all three to make Triheart. We'll put that right in defense position. We'll summon back the Astra. We'll grab Acro, and then we can special summon the Acro. Reichphobia will let us get rid of Destrudo, which will send it back to the deck. Then we get over Raiden and get in for lethal. 3,600 attack. Let's go, baby. Well, the deck performed well. It's a bit of a pile, but I think it's a fun pile. And there's definitely a lot of synergies working on here. The Melfies are on their own just an incredibly powerful tool. The recursive nature of them, they just keep coming over and over and over again. The Scareclaws are actually pretty significant to this deck. Just Triheart alone is such a powerful boss monster, and the advantage that you get from running the extra Scareclaws, but then like making sure that they can't do too much because you thin them out with a whole bunch of other stuff. I kind of wish there were more Tri-Brigades, but I understand why we're not running a lot of non-beasts. Metaltron's an interesting pick. I will say, Metaltron, I did not like Metaltron, but I do understand the idea here. We're like trying to get Exterio, trying to get Barone. I understand it, I just don't like it, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we're running a lot of bad cards like Spiritual Forest in order to like supplement Metaltron, and I just don't want to. The Pendulums, actually, I think the Pendulums are a really smart idea. It's actually really funny that you can, because they're just like one-of, so they're not breaking you up too much, and you can just search them over time as you like get through this infinite Melfi loop. And then you pendulum summon out a bunch of guys and then make a huge link board. I think that's really cool, actually. Pot of Avarice, I also don't really like. But I think all in all, this is a really interesting deck, and I'm glad you showed it to me. Okay, this one is from Nephelfem. Alright, another Master Duel deck we're going to have to tune up for TCG, but again, pretty easy this time. No Earth Insect in sight. This is Drytron with a twist. We've got a lot of weird ritual monsters in here, particularly a Morphactor Pain and Odd Eyes Gravity, so let's check it out. So here's the deck. We've got all your favorite Drytrons, Gamma, Altaeus, Aldehub, Alpha Thuban, Ash Blossom, and Joyous Spring. That's my favorite Drytron. And we've got Manju of the 10,000 Hands, just the classic fairy guy. We don't have Diviner of the Herald. Interesting choice. We do have 2 Artifact Lancia. This is a meta pick for Tearlament, which is popular in Master Duel currently, but it's not really particularly relevant in TCG. I left it in, but I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense in TCG. We do have a Megalith package as well. We have Megalith Fool, Megalith Ophiel. We have Megalith Bathor and Feleg as well. We also are running 1 Cyber Angel Ben 10. I really wish we were running more of this. Just give me all the Cyber Angel Ben 10s you can, please. We're running, of course, Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon, which is a card I had never read before, but it's just a Tax Dragon. It's another Tax Dragon. They made another one. Did you know that? A Morphactor Pain, which makes your opponent skip their main phase 1. Very funny. This card has... I've definitely seen people try to break this card before. It's just a lot of work for not a lot of payoff. We're running Odd Eye's Pendulum Graph Dragon. We're running the Drytron Ritual. We've got Raigeki, we've got Harpy's Feather Duster. We're trying to blow our opponent out. Cyber Emergency works with the Cyber Angel Ben 10 stuff. Drytron Nova, just a really great card. One Prod of Prosperity. There's only one Prod of Prosperity in Master Duel, so we're just running the one in here. Meteonus Drytron, this is our good Rituals card. One Called by the Grave, one Forbidden Droplet, one Infinite Impermanence, and one Solemn Judgment. In the extra, we have Odd Eye's Wing Dragon for some reason. I don't really understand this one. Assemble Nightingale is just a rank one you can make with any two Drytrons. But you'd rather make Drytron Mu Beta Fafnir. This card is insane, and I can't believe they printed this card. We also have Bagusko. You can make this with Manjus. We have Divine Arsenal AA Zeus. Just running Ixies monsters, you gotta run Zeus. Link Karibo, you can make this off of Drytrons. Relinquished Anima, you can make this off of Drytrons. Really cool. IP Masquerena, just a good card. Nightmare Unicorn, just a good card. Borosor Dragon, just a good card. Avermax, just a good card. Avermax is pretty neat, actually. Appaloosa, just a good card. Access Code Talker, Anti-Cheese White Woman. Just nothing interesting in the extra deck, I'm sorry. The interesting stuff is the fact that we're going into more Factor Pain and Odd Eye's Gravity Dragon. That's where the spice of the deck is. We're not going to go in that extra deck except to go into Beta Fafnir, to go into Drytron, to go into Drytron, to go into Drytron, to go in... You guys remember Drytron, right? We all remember Drytron. Oh, I remember Drytron. Let's get into the duels before I have a flashback. So here we are with the game, and we've drawn 2 Drytrons and 1 Cyber Emergency. That's probably enough. Let's start. We get to go first. Cyber Emergency. Give me the Drytron Alpha Thuban. Alright, Alpha, pitch Zeta, Alpha, grab Odd Eye's Gravity Dragon because we want to tax our opponent. Zeta, pitch Zeta, summon Zeta, grab Meteonus Drytron, we already have one. Then we'll make Mu Beta Fafnir, send Gamma, Drytron, using the 2 materials there to make Odd Eye's Gravity. We're gonna activate the the Ritual spell, what am I talking about? Grab that, and then we're going to use Gamma to send Fafnir and make another one of him. Then we'll grab, with the Gamma effect, we'll grab Zeta. Then we'll use Meteonus Drytron to summon Ophiel. Ophiel effect will grab Fool. Ophiel effect will Ritual summon for Fool. Fool effect will target Ophiel. Grab Ophiel back to hand. Just a shuffle here. We're gonna do Link Karibo to just help protect our board. Unfortunately, they have Dark Hole, so they're gonna take 500 and they're going to wipe everything. We're going to Fool here because why not? They're going to activate Unchained, Wailing of the Unchained Souls. They're done. They're unchained. They're doing the new Unchained stuff. This is like really cool and all. I don't know what any of these cards do. Aruha, I know Aruha. Abominable, I know Abominable. I don't know Sharavara. And here comes Shama. Just a lot of damage coming down. Holy moly, we are at 1,000 life points. They're going to make the Unchained Soul Lord of Yama. They're going to grab a couple of Unchained cards to hand. They're going to set an Unchained monster. Holy moly. I should read what these cards do sometime. They pop that face down and then get Sarama. They're going to then set another trap. Pop, or rather not pop, they're making Unchained Soul of Anguish. Huh. And then we draw a Ritual monster, a more Factor Pain. We're going to pitch Ophiel to Gamma. Off of Gamma, they're going to chain Escape of the Unchained. We're going to chain the effect of Link Karibo to take the target away from them. Take that. Link Karibo. We're going to Alpha, grab Ben 10. We're going to Zeta, send Ben 10. Tribute Ben 10, I should say, because then we get to add Manju. We can normal summon Manju. We'll grab the Drytron Ritual monster. Then we can make Mu Beta Fafnir effect. We're going to send the last Drytron name. We're going to Meteonus Drytron. We're going to make a more Factor Pain. And then we're going to use the effect of the ritual card to get it back into hand. We're going to make Delta. We're going to reveal the ritual card that we just added, and then Fool. Grab the Fool. And then we're going to ritual using the ritual monster we added to hand. And that's basically why it's here, is to use it as ritual material to make Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon. So now we have both of them up. Hurrah! And Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon has another effect where it can put that spell card back in the hand. We're going to walk over their monster. They're going to take 500 activating its effect. They're going to take 500 activating another effect. They're going to take 500 activating another effect. They're going to summon Abominable Unchained Soul. They're going to summon Aruha. And then they're going to put that back to hand. They're going to activate another effect, paying 500. They activate another effect, paying 500. They're going to pop Morphage. Doesn't really matter. They're going to take 500 to activate another effect. They're halfway through their life points. We're going to link off 3 of those for Unicorn. Get that Unchained Soul out of here. I don't want to see it no more. Pass on that. They're going to take 500 to activate the effect of Escape of the Unchained. They're going to pop 2 of our monsters. They're no longer under attacks. They're going to summon back Abominable Unchained Soul from the graveyard and then activate the effect to pop Nightmare Unicorn. Then they're going to, well, I got them pretty far, right? I mean, yeah, I don't think, maybe I should read Unchained cards, but I did pretty well, right? Well, maybe the deck didn't perform quite as expected, but I think it did pretty well for itself. I found this deck to be exceedingly bricky. This is what Drytron was kind of like in the early days before people like learned how to properly build the deck. I remember it being a lot like this, actually. I think there were people experimenting with Morphactor Pain in that exact moment, in fact. And it's a neat idea for sure. I think Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon is definitely a powerful card. I mean, we've seen how much Masquerade Dragon has warped gameplay for Branded. I think this has like the potential to do the same thing, but maybe not at this moment. I don't think this deck is quite what it needs. The Megaliths are interesting as a card, like as cards, but I think there's just like a little bit too much negative synergy with the Drytrons. Like there's obviously some synergy with the Drytrons, but there's a little bit of negative synergy, and yeah, I just don't think this is quite where we would want it to be like consistently getting out Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon and a Morphactor Pain. And I don't think a Morphactor Pain is good enough to be worth getting out. In fact, I think Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon is actually the better of the two, which is like a weird thing to say because all it is just a tax dragon. It doesn't have anything else going on with it other than the fact that when you summon it, it puts the spell traps back. This deck, Drytron, is at its best when it's summoning an infinite negate board. But we're kind of at a point where infinite negate boards just don't really do it, so there's got to be something else to do with the deck. But yeah, I think this is like, there's something here, especially I think Odd Eyes Gravity Dragon, I was really impressed by, weirdly enough. So maybe keep experimenting with this card for sure. And thank you for showing me your list. Alright, here we have from Redmaster 787, Aromage, Earthbound. Now this is a very strange combination. I'm very familiar with Aromage from Duel Links. I played a lot of Aromage actually. Easy free-to-play deck in Duel Links. I'm also pretty familiar with the Earthbound cards, although mostly I've been playing around with the modern ones, the Earthbound Spirit cards that are about to come out soon. I did test around with some of the older cards though, so I'm a bit familiar with them. I get it though. And there's one particular card that makes me get it. Let's talk about that in the deck profile. Alright, here's the deck, and here's the most important card here. Mausoleum of the Emperor. This card allows you to pay life points in order to tribute summon monsters. And the Aromage deck is all about gaining life points, and then paying them to activate your cool spell traps. Mostly the traps pay life points. So this archetype is based around cute girls who are smells and also wizards. And they gain life points, and the more life points you have, the better they are. While the Earthbound cards are a series of big bunguses from the anime who require a field spell to be on field in order to do things. They're relatively powerful, although not for the amount of cost that it takes to get them on the field, so we're trying to sidestep that with Mausoleum of the Emperor. We also running Mahama, the fairy dragon. This is a funny card for life gain things, where if any player takes battle damage, you can special summon this card and then gain life points equal to that damage, or inflict damage to your opponent equal to that damage. So that's a funny little card. We're playing Aromage, which is like one of the worst Aromage cards. This like would be good in a world that didn't have removal, or like very easily accessible removal. Because basically what this does is when it's face up, it cannot be destroyed by battle while it's face up on the field, and then during each end phase you gain 500 life points. Unfortunately, the problem is like just Nightmare Cerberus it, just Nightmare Unicorn it, just get it out of here somehow, you know? Aromage Bergamot is like the boss monster of Aromage, kinda, besides like the Link monster, or not the Link monster. The Link monster is a combo piece actually, or the Synchro monsters. The Link monster is actually incredibly good. It's actually get played in regular plant decks. Bergamot though, when your life points is higher than your opponent's, if a plant monster you control attacks a defense switches monster, you do piercing battle damage. And then if you gain life points, this card gains 1,000 attack and defense until the end of the opponent's turn. Aromage Jasmine is like when you gain life points, you draw a card, and then when you have life points higher than your opponents, you get an additional normal summon of a plant monster. Laurel is like the weird one of the archetype. It is a tuner monster when your life points are higher than your opponents, and then when this card is sent to the grave, you gain 500, so it activates some of the effects of the other guys. Marjoram is actually kind of funny. The Marjoram is like one of the vampire cards. It special summons itself to the field, but it does so when one of your plant monsters is destroyed by battle. You can special summon this card, and then you gain 500 life points, which then triggers some of your effects. And then when you gain life points, you can target cards in your opponent's graveyard up to the number of aroma monsters you control and banish them. So this can actually do quite a bit of graveyard control. It is a level 5 monster though. It also prevents you from taking battle damage if you have higher life points than your opponents. Again, this entire archetype relies on getting life points. Rosemary is actually kind of bad. Rosemary is like the 4-card 1800 attack monster, but it's like really bad. It does have like a Armides effect where your opponent cannot activate monster effects until the end of the damage step if you have higher life points than your opponents. But it also, whenever you gain life points, it's a mandatory effect to target a face-up monster in the field and change its battle position. You cannot count. It is impossible to count the number of times that Duel Links players have activated that effect by accident, because it's a mandatory effect. You have to activate it. And then they also have Aromage Gardening. This is actually one of the best cards in the archetype. This card is actually kind of crazy. When you normal special summon an aroma monster, you gain 1,000 life points. That's already like all right for the archetype. But when an opponent's monster declares an attack while your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon one aroma monster from your deck. That part makes this card crazy. This is what makes Aromage playable in Duel Links. Like just this card all on its own, because this makes the deck just sticky. It always keeps playing, and then they gain life points, and they always keep playing, and they gain life points, and they always keep playing. So it makes the games run forever. We're also running some of the trap cards: Blessed Winds, Dried Winds, Humid Winds. These have like 3 effects each. They're crazy. If it weren't for the fact that they're fucking continuous traps, they might actually be good. Blessed Winds allows you to send a plant monster from hand or face-up field to the graveyard to gain 500. Target a plant monster in the graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, then gain 500. Pay 1,000 and special summon an aroma monster from your graveyard. So it's a fucking monster reborn. It shuffles a card back and gains 500. It sends from hand or face-up field and gains 500. Dried Winds is when you gain life points, you target a face-up monster your opponent controls and destroy it. Every turn. Every turn you get a pop if you gain life points. And then if your life points are 3,000 higher than your opponent's, which is not exceedingly hard in Aroma, you can pay life points equal to the difference, destroy face-up monsters your opponent controls whose combined attack is less than or equal to the life points you paid to activate this effect. So it's a bit of a Raigeki, not quite a Raigeki because it's just a little bit worse. Then we have Humid Winds. You can pay 1,000 life points, add 1 aroma monster from your deck to your hand. If your life point is lower than your opponent's, you can just gain 500 for free. Just gain 500 for free. And it searches, so it's a Rhoda too, but it does pay 1,000 life points to do so. Then we have our Earthbound cards. We have Earthbound Greater Linewalker. This guy is interesting. He's not particularly good, but he's one of the best Earthbound cards. I just don't think he quite works in this deck. See, the thing about the Aromage cards is that ostensibly you're supposed to synchro summon their synchro boss monsters, but it's really hard to do that, because the levels are really hard to match up properly. And then this card requires you to control a synchro monster to special summon this card. And you want to have this card on field when you summon an Earthbound Immortal card. But yeah, he does search the Earthbound Immortals, and then if an Earthbound Immortal monster is normal summon while this monster is on the field, you can make your opponent's life points 3,000. That's relevant because a lot of the Earthbound monsters can just attack directly. Yeah, Sapak Apu does. Does this one? Yep. Aslu Pisku. You can do 800 damage and then attack directly, so that's game. Aspisku has 3,000 attack, that's game. What about Whale? Chaku Chalua. Chaku Chalua. Yeah, I can pronounce that word. You know, I did spend some time in my youth learning Nahuatl. I didn't learn it like super well, but I did not ever attempt to learn the Incan language, whose name I am blanking on, nor Nazca, which I don't even know if I don't even know where these words come from, whether they're Inca or Nazca, and I don't even know if Nazca language is still around. Anyways, this card also can do damage directly. We're playing so many of these. Why are we playing so many? Like, I get we want to summon them, but like, God, can't we cut down on some of these? We're playing Earthbound Linewalker. This guy sucks. When he's on the field, Earthbound Immortal monsters cannot be destroyed by their own effects. So this guy basically takes a place of a field spell. We're running so many field spells, and he's unsearchable. I told you about Mahama. Earthbound Geoglyph is the Earthbound field spell. While any level 10 monster on the field, neither player can target this card with card effects, so it can't be destroyed. So that helps protect it. You can treat one synchro monster as 2 tributes for the tribute summon Earthbound monster. Cool. If a synchro monster is special summon, you can add an Earthbound Immortal spell trap from your deck to your hand. We're not running any of those except for the field spell. Cool. Mausoleum of the Emperor, I told you about. Terraforming, we're using this to get our field spells. We also have 2 Metaverse to do the same thing. A little bit overkill. I don't think Metaverse is particularly good in this deck. I think a deck like Secret Villages of Spellcasters or Mystic Mine had much more of a claim to this because it's the Floodgate effect that matters there. I don't think it really matters. If you don't have a field spell on turn 2, what are you doing? It's all over. Especially for trying to OTK. Like, Unending Nightmare is a funny card in here because it allows you to pay 1,000 life points and then target a spell trap on the field, destroy it. It's almost like it was meant to be an Aromage card, weirdly enough. In the extra deck, we are running Ancient Pixie Dragon, a card that I've only ever seen used in Duel Links specifically. It is the retrain of Ancient Fairy Dragon for the manga, and it says, after resolving a field spell that was activated during your turn, draw 1 card. Okay, sure. You only use this effect once per turn. Great. Once per turn, you can target one face-up attack physician monster on the field, destroy that target. Cool. There must be a face-up field spell on the field to activate and resolve this effect. Great. Awesome. Just like, why aren't we playing Ancient Fairy Dragon? Why are we playing Ancient Pixie Dragon when we could be playing Ancient Fairy Dragon? Alright, Aromazarafi Rosemary. Aromazarafi Rosemary. Wow, whenever I try to say that, I want to say Rosemary. This card says when your opponent's life points are higher than your opponent's, all planet type monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. That's like pretty alright. Once per turn, if you gain life points, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. That card has its effects negated for the end of the turn. This is an alright card, but good luck making it. You're going to need to use Laurel and Rosemary, or Laurel and 2 Jasmine. Sucks to suck. Aromazarafi Sweet Marjoram. This is the upgrade for Marjoram. While your life points are higher than your opponent cannot target plant monster you control with card effects. That's a pretty cool effect. You can only use these following effects once per turn. As this card is synchro summon, you can add 1 Humid Winds, Dried Winds, or Blessed Winds from your deck to your hands. Why did we have to have them in individual names like that? And then if you gain life points, you can target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. Again, pretty alright, but you're going to have to use Marjoram and Laurel to make it. So good luck making it, sucker. Coral Dragon is an alright synchro monster that we're never going to make. Garden Rose Maiden is an alright synchro monster that we're never going to make. Perialis Empress of the Blossoms is an alright synchro monster that we're never going to make. Queen of Thorns is a bad synchro monster that we're never going to make. Aromazarafi Jasmine is the best card in this entire deck. This card is actually kind of crazy. If your life points are higher than your opponent's, this card and any planet monster's point to can't be destroyed by battle. Who cares? That part doesn't matter. What matters is you can tribute 1 monster this card points to, special summon a plant monster from your deck in defense position. It's got a Lone Fire Blossom effect. Perfect. Once per turn, additionally, if you gain life points, add a plant monster from deck to hand. We're going to be doing that a lot. So this card is pretty damn good. Unfortunately, making it is a pain in this deck I'm sorry to Redmaster for basically using your deck as an excuse for me to rant about the design decisions that went into making Aromage, but Aromage is just terrible at building field presence, specifically monsters. The traps and stuff, they come through, It's really good at building card advantage in hand, but it's terrible at actually getting the monsters out onto the field. So how do we make any of these synchro monsters and link monsters? Well, you play better cards, as we've seen with stuff like Sun Avalon using Jasmine, you know? It's just how the deck seems to function, which is not functioning at all. Anyways, let's see how it does in a duel. So here we are with the game, and we have bricked. Look, the deck is mostly bricks. I don't know what you want me to do. We have the Mausoleum of the Emperor, which can help us summon Bergamot, but I don't know what we do from there, because Bergamot can't do anything. We have less life points than our opponent. Our opponent is on branded Chimera, so good luck to us. They're going to start with branded Fusion. We got no interruptions. Go ahead, buddy. They're going to make Rindrum, the Striking Dragon. They're going to set 1 and pass. Okay, well, I guess the deck doesn't actually do all that much. Unfortunately, we're going to have to set 4 and pass. We're going to set all of our trap cards and Jasmine, which we drew for turn, and hope and pray. We're going to activate Mausoleum. Why not? They're going to then chain Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Oh no. Oh no, it does do stuff, huh? We're all just activating EEV now, huh? It just is what Yu-Gi-Oh is whoever gets Eradicator Epidemic Virus just wins. Why is this still around? Well, you know, whatever. They're going to activate Rindrum with Albaz and get Rindrum back and take a look at all of our set cards and get rid of Mausoleum and, well, they drew Droll and Lockbird. That doesn't actually do a whole lot against us, but they don't have to know that. The Ash Blossom certainly does, though. They got rid of our Jasmine, which is unfortunate for us. And no Mausoleum, but you know what is a Mausoleum? Metaverse. Maybe I shouldn't have talked bad about this card, huh? Mausoleum we're going to use to get Bergamot onto field. What do you know? Bergamot has just enough attack points to be right under Rindrum. Unfortunate. They draw off the top Chimera Fusion. We're going to activate the effect of Humid Winds. We're going to pay 1,000. They're going to get the Ash out. And, well, you know, we're going to take 100 from the damage. And we're going to gain 500 life points back. Just to make sure we can keep going. They're going to then do that. The effect of Dried Winds will pop Rindrum. We draw Jasmine for turn. Jasmine's one of the best cards in the deck. We're going to activate the effect of Human Winds to gain 500, which allows us to draw off of Jasmine. It also allows us to pop a card. That's a mandatory effect, but there's nothing to pop, so it doesn't matter. We draw Dried Winds. Great. They chain Droll and Lockbird. Funny. We're going to pay 1,000 to go ahead and grab Bergamot. So that means we can dodge the Droll and Lock there. So now we don't even care about the Droll and Lock anymore. We're going to go battle. We're going to get them for 100. just to try and get them under our life points. They draw another Droll and Lock. Great. Now they get to use... Did you know that Mausoleum of the Emperor is reciprocal? Did you know that Mausoleum of the Emperor is reciprocal? So they're going to pay 1,000 life points to tribute summon Big Winged Baphomet and activate its effect to add another Chimera Fusion and the Gazelle, the King of Mystical Claws. They're going to Chimera Fusion. We're going to Humid Wind here just to search. We're going to grab Marjoram, because if they destroy our monster, then we get to summon Marjoram. They're going to fuse in Guardian Chimera, and then they're going to activate the effect of the Beast. We're going to chain Humid Winds just to get some life points. I'm worried that they're going to actually destroy Humid Winds. They're going to draw 2 and destroy Mausoleum for some reason. I literally have no clue why they decided to hit Mausoleum. We're going to then draw a card because we gained some life points. They're going to Chimera Fusion to get rid of the Chimera that was going to be destroyed by Dry Winds and get out another Chimera that they can use to pop some of our cards. We're going to draw Earthbound Geoglyph. Great. They're going to go battle. The effect of Chimera is once per turn, so they can't use that effect again. They're going to go over our Aromage Jasmine, though, and do a lot of damage, but we're going to get to summon Marjoram. We're going to gain 500, activate Marjoram. We're going to just go ahead and banish one of those cards. I don't really know what to banish here. Probably should have banished Branded Fusion, though. We're going to gain 500 to activate Marjoram. We're going to get the Big Wing Baphomet out of there. We're going to then destroy the Guardian Chimera with Dried Winds. We're going to take 1,000 life points to add Jasmine to hand. We're just going to then set the Aromage and pass. I want to summon the Jasmine to get the second normal summon, but we don't have enough life points. We need to have more life points than our opponents to get the second normal summon, which is why this deck fucking sucks. We're going to get in for 2,000. See what our opponent draws. Hey, that's a playable card, unfortunately. They're going to activate the Kit. They're going to grab Branded Fusion to hand. Great. Just what I wanted. They're going to activate Branded Fusion. Great. They're going to summon Albion. Albion effect. Just banish a couple of cards, and then get Mirror Jade. At Mirror Jade, I'm thinking, oh, we are cooked. They're going to try and get over Marjoram. We're going to do Humid Winds here to gain 500. Then we'll activate Marjoram, banishing Branded Fusion, and then using Dried Winds effect to hit the Mirror Jade. They're going to use the Mirror Jade effect to banish the Aromage. Good bait there, I guess. We get rid of the Mirror Jade, which is going to activate the Mirror Jade effect to destroy our board, but I don't really care, because our board was going to be destroyed anyways. We draw the fucking Earthbound Immortal Riracocha. Let's summon Jasmine and gain some life points. Maybe we'll draw into a card that'll do something. And we'll also be able to Dried Wind away that Albion. Now they just have a Kit. Surely we can do something with them just having Kit. We get Aromage off the draw, which is not great. We're going to grab Laurel with our search, which puts us back to pretty low. We're just end turn there. They're going to use the effect of Albion to set a card. We're going to set Branded in white. And then they're going to draw Edge Imp Chain. They're going to summon the Edge Imp Chain. We're going to go battle with Kit. We're going to activate Humid Winds to gain life points, thus drawing a card and activating Dried Winds. You can see why this deck was really good in Duel Links, can't you? They're going to go to battle with Edge Imp Chain and activate the effect, add Edge Imp Chain to hand. We'll take a little bit of damage, and then it's our turn. We only have 1,600 life left, and we achieved the only win condition that Aromage has ever been able to attain in its entire history, playing the game until our opponent quits or loses connection in frustration. That's what Aromage is good at, baby. Stalling the game until something bad happens. Oh, I want to love this deck, but I hate it so much. Well, I'm sorry for ragging on it so much, but I just can't. I can't help it. The Aromage cards, I've tried to make them work. I've tried and tried and tried, and I just cannot make them work, and it frustrates me so much because I like the life point gain and paying. I think that's a really cool mechanic, but they're just so unplayably bad. And then mixing them with Earthbound Immortals, which I've also been playing around with recently, it was just such a fascinating mix. I think the Mausoleum pick is actually a really interesting way to connect the two. I think that's actually really cool. I just wish the Aromage cards were better. I feel like if the Aromage cards were better, this might work. And we shaved some of these Earthbound Immortal cards. I think we should really only be playing Sapak Apu. I think that's the one that's really our goal should be, and use Greater Linewalker to search it. But otherwise, I think this is a really interesting deck. Certainly one of the ones that made me stop and think and go wait, is that something? And then I was like, Aromage. Why do they do this to this archetype? But thank you for showing me your deck. I'm sorry I rapped on it. Well, what another fine batch of decks. Big thanks to all three of you who gave your decks this week, and thanks to everyone who put their decks into the thread. I'll get to you next time. Till then, see you around in the Belfry. Hey there, thanks for watching this episode of the Belfry. If you want to submit decks to this, just follow me on Twitter and watch for when I post one of those things. Make sure to follow me there and on Twitch, and share, subscribe, all the YouTube things, ring the bell. You know the deal by now, right? Also, Patreon, you can go on the credits that you see here. That'd be pretty neat, wouldn't it? I appreciate you for watching this video, and I hope you have a good one. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and I'll see ya in the next one. Bye.